Hello folks and welcome back to Champion Motorcycles down here in deepest Devon. Today we're going to be looking at this YBR. It is a category D insurance write-off, which means that it's light damage. It didn't come with keys or documents, but I have the insurance write-off document so I can apply for the original registration document. The main damage on the bike was the forks and the front mudguard. It would have been checked around, the insurance company would have checked around the headstock for any damage around here. This is okay. So the main frame of the bike is damaged. The side panel I've already removed. Basically what I needed to do to decide whether I was going to put this bike back on the road or whether I would just break it for spares. First thing I really needed to do was to hear it running. So just generally assess it, obviously. Because I had no key, I ended up, this is the ignition switch, which I have taken off from its normal position up here by the clocks, and I cut the barrel off. So now I can use a set of pliers on this knob here. Battery was completely flat with this, so I have, if you look down here, my spare battery and a couple of jump leads. Lightweight jump leads, only need a lightweight jump lead for the bike, so we can put that on there. Make sure it's not going to earth out onto the frame because you're going to get sparks, obviously. Put that one onto the earth lead. Then I'll put my pliers in my pocket. Come around here, get hold of this part of the barrel there, turn it. You can hear there the fuel pump starting to pressurise, and there we are. We have a little running YBR. Pilot lights on, and doesn't sound too bad, little engine. So back to here. Switch that off. So what we're going to need to do is strip these forks off. I'm going to disconnect the battery just so we don't have any major problems there. Strip these forks off. Handlebars are going to have to come off as well. I've bought, that was the next thing actually I needed to do, was once I'd heard it running, I'd go through it and work out which parts I actually need. So obviously the forks, the wheel looks to have no major damage. I will check that. I'll put it in the vise and spin it, make sure there's nothing there. Front mudguard, you can buy brand new front mudguards through the internet. It's 18 quid. Ignition set was less than a tenner. It's a great thing about these little bikes. I also got a good set of second-hand forks. Checked on the listing that the seller said that there was no pitting on the chrome here and here, and the seals are okay. There's slight marks and this sort of thing, but it's no way a pristine machine. This was through Lancashire Bike Breakers. Seem very reputable little place. So yeah. Okay, little caps off the wheel nuts here, the little rubber caps. These are quite often missing from YBRs, but this one's got them, which is quite handy. I'd say a 19 and a 17, or certainly 19 and 17 is there. So we'll release that. A little bit too stiff just to knock through. Copper rawhide mallet, obviously using the copper end. I am going to release the speedo cable, which just unscrews. Sometimes you have to get it's just a nut on there. Sometimes you have to get a plier on those, but that one obviously was easy enough to undo. Right, the other thing I need to make sure is before I take that front wheel out, the bike's mounted on its side stand, and I need to make sure that when I take the wheel out, it's not just going to fall on the floor. So two ways: you can either brace the back or get a scissor jack. I like the one I have here. Put that down under the engine, find a suitable place. There's a nice little rib just there. Stick it under there, and there you go. That's the bike reasonably well secured. Short, sharp tap. And it looks like we're going to need something to knock that through. Old engine mounting bolt, I would have said. Slightly smaller diameter. Snap that through. And that wheel should just come down out. That's great. Feels all okay. What I'm going to do is put this wheel spindle back in there. One, to keep all the components in the same place, so you know where they all are, you can find them later. And two, we can spin it and hold it. There you go. It's running nice and true. And I can't see any movement on the rim. That looks good. I will put it in the vise on the side just to make sure, but that looks all nice and true. Next, let's get the mudguard off. Mils side. 10mm spanner. These are handy little ratchet spanners. They just make the job of getting all this stuff undone. Not as cumbersome as a proper ratchet, as a socket set. And they just come undone. There. Let's get that ignition switch out of the way. Oh, that was it's a bit trashed. Don't need that. File that under B. Right, that's all the bits we don't need. Check those in the bin in a bit. 1, 2. Where did the bolt go? There. Right, we have to get the brake caliper off. We'll see how tight it is. Oh, it's not too bad. Maybe it would have been easier to loosen it. There we go. Loosened it before we took the wheel off. But it's a much of a muchness. And we're going to put the bolts back in there, same thing. So we know where they are, they don't get lost, they don't get kicked around. Obviously I'm working on a bench, but if you're working in a garage, you drop them on the floor, kick them, they could go anywhere. So it's always a good idea to put bolts back into things and keep them as a sub-assembly. Right, I'll show you on this side. Up here, to release the fork, you have a 10mm, and I would say that's a 14, which I haven't got a 14 out yet. So that's really, yeah, that's a 14mm. None of the bolts are that tight on this bike actually. So I will be doing them up a little bit tighter when we put it back together. Slacken that off, slacken that off. $14mm there. Just need to slacken these off, don't need to take them right the way out. Just enough to slide the forks out of the way. And the fork will just twist. And there we have one of the forks out. Let's see if this one comes out as easy. This one's a bit more jammed in there. You can see it's just a little bit, there's a bit of space on between the mount and the actual fork leg. So what I'm going to try and do is get the cap out. It takes probably a 12mm Allen key. What I might try first off is using that bolt that I mounted, that I took the wheel spindle out, place that in the top. Oh, yeah. Still not wanting to come out. Right. Okay, so that this one you can see is quite severely bent and creased. I'm wondering whether the yoke, I can't see anything. I was wondering whether the yoke might have been bent. The easiest way to tell is if these legs go in quite smoothly. So I'm going to put this side in first, so I know this side is good. That way, just wiggle up. I'm going to have to take the top yoke out again later on. So we just do that one up, tweak that one up. Just do it up reasonably tight. I'll go around and check that over and probably do it up tighter later on. This is the bit where we'll tell whether the yoke is bent. Ooh. Ooh, we didn't see that. Okay. Looks like the yokes are bent. Slightly annoying because I haven't got those. I haven't got one. Yeah. I can. Now, how can I show you this? You might see me checking this on the little. I've done one on the CBF to show you things to check. Basically, I want to look along the front line of both of these forks. When I do, we can show it on the front or back line. Where are we going to go? We're going to go down like that. Tilt it up there. There is a very slight difference. They're sitting at a slightly different angle. Twisted. The fact that this was twisted. That means I'm going to have to see if I can find a decent pair of second-hand ones. There's plenty of these being broken on eBay. But that means I can't finish the forks today. Just check these forks look straight. But what you can sometimes find, that fork's nice and straight. No, that's bent. Okay, oh well, that's that on this one. Sometimes, some you win, some you lose. Other things, we're going to have to strip the yokes off, forks off, yokes off anyway. So, let's just undo that. We'll put them down there. Save them for later on. And we'll start stripping down the handlebars. Handlebars are bent on this one, so we're going to have to do that at some point. The brake lever, front brake lever is bent. I'm going to have a go at straightening that using just a bit of heat. 17 is that one. mirrors damaged, and that will be thrown away. Right, let's turn that camera around a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. And now you're getting a bit of light from that there. If I come up, you get too much glare off that light. Let's bring it down there. Oh, all right. Mirror in the bin. Handlebar grip, twist grip off. The Japanese actually use a slightly different type of crosshead to a standard posi drive. PZ2 is more or less the same, but the PH has got a different angle on the tips. Try and get as good a fit as possible, or else you'll damage the screws as you're trying to remove them. What are they called? A Japanese JSA spec. They are starting to come down in price. These ones are an impact screwdriver, and these I got a set of 3 with 37 quid. So, but now I've recently seen you can buy just the ends, a set of ends for about 5 or 6 quid. So, always worth investing in the right tools. Makes your job that bit easier. So there's 2 screws under there. It has what's called a push-pull throttle on it, which means that it has 2 cables running to it. I've just undone the screw that holds that throttle cable in. There's 1 screw on the front edge and the other one on the back edge. Bring you. Oh, that's gonna be too far away. No. Let's keep you there. So the thing about just trying to film these little things on your phone, it's not always so easy to get the ideal shots. So I don't know whether you can see that here. Basically, top half lifts off. When we're refitting it, it does have a tiny little pin there, which has to fit into the hole there. So, might leave that as one assembly for the minute and just slide off the handlebars rather than undoing all the cables. Undo the cable tie, which is being a little bit of a sod. These cable ties have the little teeth that keep them in place. You can push a screwdriver in behind them, lift them. So basically, you got that little edge there that's gone through there. I'll push the screwdriver in behind like that, and you can pull it through. I can go on the deck there. this one. Do the same thing to release it. Pushes through. I'll stick that down under there so they don't all disappear. Same thing. One screw at the back. And one screw at the front. And then that, those are the top parts, that's it. It comes in two halves. Same thing, locating dowel on that one. It's a little bit corroded. Put the screws back in so you don't lose them. That was a message coming through on my phone. Anyway, right. So, releasing the lever, releasing the clutch lever. Basically, the easiest way is you want to get the excuse me, want to get the cable out. Just make it so much easier. There is a cable clutch engage. Make sure the clutch engaged so you can't start it in gear. That little fitting's been knocked out. That might, obviously the bike started, so it's not that badly damaged. So basically we'll screw the adjuster in. I'll try and show you on this side. So got to get it so there is a slot in the adjuster. I'm going to spray a little bit of oil on that to make it a little bit easier. Oh, it's all a little bit fiddly. Right, it's a little bit stiff. So we will get the pliers on it. Wiggle the cable. So what I've done here is, I'm shining the light right in your face. You can see. Basically, I line up the slot in the handlebar, in the lever, with the mount, with the two slots in the adjuster, and then we can pull the cable out, wiggle it down, and that comes out there. Right. The grip, got to make a bit of a twisting action to get it off the handlebars. It's not coming off too easily, so I have a technique, yet again. Get along reasonably thin. This is about a 5mm thick screwdriver. Push that down underneath. Try not to damage the inside of the grip. Then spit down inside it. pull the screwdriver out. This will give that end a little bit of lubrication. And as the actress said to the bishop, good bit of lubrication, and it slides off in and out easily. Right, so that 10mm nut there. Whether you use a socket or a spanner on it, only needs to be released a small amount. That can go on the floor. This side for the brake lever. There's 2 8mm screws, bolts. On there. So you want to take both of those out. Pull that out of the way. Same thing yet again. Put your bolts back inside with your bracket, with the rest of the clamp, the mount, whatever you want to call it. Put that in there as a sub-assembly. You don't lose the parts. Right. The handlebars are held on with these 4 bolts with the clamp, with the 2 clamps. We release one clamp and then the other. That way the bars aren't flopping around loads and loads, and we can keep control of them. I have bought a brand new set of handlebars. Same thing, pattern handlebars on eBay. They were less than £15. So we'll put that there for the minute. Do these, then you can lift the handlebar up and you can slide the throttle out. You end up with the whole throttle mechanism in one piece. The other bits are on the floor there. So now we will put that back together. Put the bolts back in. Same thing. Like I keep saying, I will keep saying it, sub-assemblies. Put things back together and you don't lose anything. Nothing worse than when you come to put something back together, you can't find half the bits. So I will keep saying it. Right, so that's that. Okay, looking at what shall we take off next? Looks like it's going to be easiest. Take the top of the speedo cable out. There's a rubber cover on it. Where's my pliers? Down there on the phone. There it is. That I do have to get the pliers on it to release it. say they look like 4mm Allen keys in the top. Which I do have. If we look here, right, we're going to take the clocks off next. This bolt, as you can see, is quite rusty. That one's still not too bad. That looks a little bit damaged. I think that's going to be awkward to get out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the socket in there with the 4mm Allen key and give it a little tap just to make sure it's in there nice and solid. And it's come undone. That's great. So pull that one out, put that one in, and yeah, there we go. Take those two out. Clocks come forward. Put it in as a sub-assembly. Oh. Line everything up. Right, I'm guessing that Yamaha like to use 27mm for their top nuts. So let's see if this is the same. Yes. Give that a nice sharp tap. So I can see that the headlight mount goes, got a couple of rubber bungs at the top and just slugs into the top yoke. Then there is a washer on here with these long tabs. That lines up with the slots in the castle nuts, stop them coming undone. Put that down there. Then we need a C-spanner. Which one? That one, I reckon. A tool, preferably a tool like this. If not, you could use a bar and tap it round, but that does actually put a small amount of damage on the nut. These aren't particularly tight. There's a rubber washer in between the two, so you can, that makes it easier to align everything up. And before I take, no, that's the 8mm in back pocket. Where's the 10mm? Before I drop the bottom yoke, there's two 10mm heads for 6mm screws, 10mm heads on the bottom yoke that hold the headlight bracket in place. We'll take those off. Might be easier just to disconnect. I think all of those clocks are on one quite simple. There's a little screw there, and they are on one connector block with a couple of other connectors around it. All of this stuff is simple colour coding, so don't ever be afraid to pull wiring apart. It's basically, when you connect it back together, you literally connect the colours, and it's pretty obvious which connectors go in where. So there we go. So basically, when you're stripping down, you'll find, right, so there's one block connector, blue wire with a male fitting, yellow wire with a male fitting, green wire male fitting, brown wire male fitting. It's simple. Same thing when you slot it back in there, you select that, you find the appropriate same coloured wires, connecting them together, and it works. Wiring is as simple, swapping components is as simple as that. When you have a wiring fault and you have to diagnose it, in fact, just to make the whole thing easier, I'm going to take that out. It just makes it easier for me to access. I'm going to pull the clutch. I'm going to pull the clutch cable out through there. Yeah, pull all the cables out. It just makes it easier for me to get to this bolt. I can see the back of some screw of the actual bolts there. They look slightly corroded, so I'm going to give them a little bit of oil. Let's pull that bracket in a second. The screws are coming undone quite nicely. All of that lot can drop down. That's the brake cable, the brake hose, front brake hose is held underneath by another bolt, which will slacken that off under there. Then all that bracket and everything could swing out of the way. Looks like a piece of, I don't know where that bolt's come from. I just found a random bolt, stepped, shouldered bolt, which is not part of what we've taken apart. Then now we can remove the bottom yoke. So a little bit of oil on there. Just to free that up. Gonna have to watch. This probably has ball bearings in it, and because these are a commuter, budget commuter bike, It won't be fitted with tapered roller bearings. It'll just be old school. I expect there'll be old school ball bearings. There's another old bracket underneath that the wiring's running through, which would be quite good if we just remove that. That bolt's sheared off, but that doesn't matter because we're replacing the bottom yoke. Ah, that's quite handy. They are ball bearings, but they're kept in a handy little cage. So, what we have now is a YBR with no front end on it. I'm going to have to order up, see if I can find a second-hand bottom yoke. And when it does, I'll do you another video on reassembling it. Okay, well, I hope you found this quite interesting. If you do, go down to the bottom of the video, give us a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos on bike orientated things, repairs, restorations, do servicing, I'm going to be doing several more of these videos. So subscribe, like, and we'll see you again next time then. All right, folks, see you later. Bye.